Welcome back. Great to have you with us on the Randy Karraker Show on STL Sports Central, presented by DraftKings, where the crown is yours. And there you see the new head coach of the St. Louis Battlehawks, a St. Louis legend, Ricky Proehl. And Ricky, it's always great to see you. I want to start by congratulating you on the new gig.
Thank you, Randy. It's always an honor to hear your voice, come on your show. And I am over the moon right now, man. I'm so fired up, excited. To be the head football coach of the St. Louis Battlehawks, to go back to the Lou, and where so many amazing memories and people. I'm fired up, man. I am so excited.
How did all of this come together? Obviously, you've been a receivers coach in the league, but how did this particular job come together?
You know, a couple years ago when I was coaching the receivers for Coach Beck and the Battlehawks, I know Coach Beck, you know, his ultimate dream is to coach in the National Football League. And so I just told Russ Brandon, the president and CEO of the league, that I said, if this job ever comes available, please give me an opportunity to interview. And he called me Tuesday late afternoon and just said, hey, we're realigning some teams. We're trying to, the new Mike Proehl has got some ideas. He's trying to, you know, bring coaches in that have a contact or, you know, with the community. And Coach Beck's going to Orlando and the St. Louis job's available. And he goes, I remember 2 years ago. And I said, what? It didn't take me long to kind of, you know, my wife's been pushing for me. I've turned down several NFL jobs just because I have my business and my grandkids, and I travel a lot to see my kids coach and sing, and but this is a perfect opportunity. It's, you know, 4.5, 5 months. It's you know, it's a dream come true.
Ricky, having done this before, there are multiple things you can do as a UFL head coach. You're trying to get players to be better. You're trying to get players to the NFL. What are you going to strive to accomplish as a UFL head coach?
It's a great question, Randy. You know, for the last 8 years, I've been going to California, Orange County, working with an agency, Excel Sports Management, preparing guys for the NFL Combine, the NFL Draft. For example, I've trained Roma Dunze with the Bears, Torrey Horton with the Seahawks, Kyle Williamson with the Patriots, Jordan Whittington with the Rams, Dallas Goedert, tight ends and wide receivers. And it's been such for me, a joy to just kind of teach them the things that I've learned, the things that hopefully will extend their career. I'm about developing guys, and that was one of the things that enticed me 2 years ago to the Battlehawks in this league is the NFL needs a developmental league, guys that love to coach, love ball, but that want to pass on to that next generation what it takes to make it. Some of them, you know, when I played and when I coached, you know how many times I sat there in training camp and watched guys see their dreams fall apart, but they were good enough. We all looked at each other like, we just cut him. Like, that guy can play. He just needs an opportunity. And that's what this league presents, is players that just need an opportunity, just need coaches to give back and to mentor these guys and to help develop their skill set. And then to find out, to me, the biggest thing I really, when I coach with the Panthers, is finding those guys that their skill set and plug them in a position where they can show their talent, show their skill set. And that's, to me, when you do that offensively and defensively on both sides of the ball, winning will be a byproduct of that, in my opinion. And then you get guys when they're having fun because they're doing what they love doing, and that's what I learned over the years, 17 years of playing for teams where we weren't very good, and then playing for the Rams, and then the Panthers, and then the Colts. You realize the recipe for success and what it takes, and it's everybody being on the same page and buying into that process of what it takes to win.
And you know what, Ricky, it's interesting because you did. I know if you weren't taking actual notes, you were taking mental notes. And there are some guys that just kind of, and good players too, that meander through an NFL career, but don't really pay that close of attention to what their surroundings are. And you always did that. And you always, especially, paid attention to your position coaches and your head coaches. this is a long way of asking, and I know one answer, but who are some of the head coaches that you worked with? You played for Buddy Ryan, you played for Dave Wanstedt, you played for Tony Dungy, you obviously DV, you played for John Fox, you coached with Ron Rivera. What are some of the things that you took away from some of those guys?
Well, those guys you named, the Ron Riveras, the Tony Dungys, John Fox, and obviously Coach Vermeil, but even Al Saunders and Frank Gans, those guys, you didn't want to let them down. They were so, Coach said something a long time ago, and I don't care if you're Pop Warner, high school, college, players don't care how much coaches know until they know how much they care. And it's I believe in that. You got to be hard. You got to know when to push the buttons and when to get hard on guys, but you got to love on them too. Like, to me, when I dropped the football and I had to come to the sidelines and see Coach Vermeil, he didn't have to say a word. I felt, I was killing myself, but I felt like I let him down. When you come to a sideline and coach is cussing you out for dropping the ball, what does that accomplish? So it's to me, that's part of the developmental process of it's got to mean something to these guys and teach them the right way. And it's come to work with a smile on your face. Like I tell people, I tell my guys when I coach them, you think I loved coming to practice every day? But you got to do it. It's part of it's your job, and you might as well do it and work to get better and have a smile on your face. And I think, I look at the Rams, and when we won the Super Bowl and Coach stepped down and Coach Martz asked me to take a pay cut, I was devastated. Like, what? I just made the biggest catch of my life. We just won the Super Bowl. But I realized then that it was the first time in my life that I love coming to work. I love going to practice with these guys. And that was the culture Dick brought. I learned how to be selfless. And Isaac Bruce will probably tell you the same thing. When Torrey came in and started taking some of his thunder, I think at first he was upset, but you learn, do I want to catch 115 balls, 15 touchdowns and go 4-12, or do I want to catch 85 balls, 10 touchdowns and go 13-3 and win the Super Bowl? We got to where that culture where we wanted to make that, we wanted to make that block to Spring Marshall from a 15-yard gain to a 60-yard touchdown. We wanted to dig out safeties. We couldn't wait to go watch the tape and be that guy that knocked the safety off so Marshall scored, or Torrey, ran a route to clear out. And Al Saunders helped create that culture, and Coach Vermeil brought Al Saunders in. So it's who you bring in as coaches and what you build in that locker room and on that practice field with your players. What kind of players are you bringing in that fit your role, fit the system, and buy into the culture you're going to build? And that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, you talk about that culture that you're talking about under Coach Vermeil. And here's, I think, what encapsulates it all. Isaac Bruce is a Hall of Famer. Made tons of huge catches in his career. But he says, and I know you've heard this, the biggest catch of his career was made by you, he says.
And that's the kind of guy Isaac is. That's the kind of football team we had. And every time he says that, it's just, look at me now. I get choked up because, it's unbelievable. For that guy, to say that, he's a Hall of Famer, great football player, and he was a great teammate. And so that was the reason I took the pay cut and came back, because finally being a part of something special. And like I said, love playing for those guys, love playing with those guys and suiting up every Sunday. That's what it's all about. That's what, when your playing days are over, you hope everybody has that experience to where they go away with a good taste in their mouth. They just, because there's so many teams that I played on that weren't like that. That just they played for the next paycheck. They played for their individual stats. And so to have that opportunity to be a part of that, and then to go, I didn't think I'd ever experience that. And then when I went to Carolina, Fox did the same thing. It was Muhsin Muhammad, Jake Delhomme. Love the guy, run through a wall for the guy. And even Peyton Manning, the stature he had, he wanted to win. And he took me in the 3 months that I played with him. And so those are the things I carry to my business. I try to surround myself with great people that have bought into what I'm trying to do here at Prolific Park. And that's what the things that I'm going to do with this football team. The coaches I'll bring in and the players, if they, it's just that you got to do the little things. The little things of blocking downfield, digging out safeties, linebackers, clearing out guys for your teammate. You'll get your chance, you'll get your opportunity, and winning will be a byproduct of doing those things.
How will you put a staff together for the Battlehawks, and will you have any familiar names there?
I hope so. I hope so. That's one of the toughest things right now. It's like it's been a whirlwind right now. I think of just finding that coordinator. Because I've got a couple people in mind, and getting in touch with them, and then and then it's hopefully some of those things fall in place, but it might not. And it's it's that I want to be familiar with too, especially on the offensive side of the ball. Some of the offense we run, and we're going to run a spread offense and some inside zones, some RPOs, different stuff. But I want to be familiar. The people that I bring in, I want to be familiar with the offense that we're running, because hopefully what ultimately what we want to do is develop players so they leave, they go off and leave. And I want to have a system that is easy to learn, that is conducive to new players coming in and can pick the system up quick, because we want our players to come here and go play at the next level. We want coaches to come in here and coach and go back to the NFL. Some guys have been fired. I mean, this day and age, coaches stay. I mean, it's crazy. They stay 2-3 years, and it's just the doors just, I feel like it's just guys are getting fired left and right after 2 years. And so they want to get back in, and if this is what it takes, or a young guy to get he needs just an opportunity, and then hopefully he can get his foot in the door in the NFL. And that's what we want to, I'm not trying to keep guys here for 3-4 years. This is a league to help not only the players, but also coaches to get to that next level.
One of the things about the greatest show on turf, and Coach Martz talked to us in the media about it pretty much every week, is that you guys had to be really smart. You had a group of people that were around for a while, and you just mentioned you're going to have turnover in this league. It'd be kind of hard to run what you guys ran in 2000, 2001, 2002 in this league, wouldn't it? Because of the fact that you basically had a different game plan, and a different playbook every week.
It would, but it wouldn't. We ran the digit system, which was great. Now, when we changed the code words and we did so many shifts and motions, so that's what made it difficult. And then you get Coach Martz. I mean, we did, it's like anything. It's knowing your personnel. Me and Oz did most of the shifting and motion. And Marshall, of course, could have been the smartest football player I ever played with. But so it's, again, knowing your personnel and doing that. So now we can add different things and nuances each and every week, but the funny thing is the way the league is now, these guys have all this verbiage and adding, and it's all the same stuff still, but they just I can't even tell you Zampese and starting from San Diego, that offense is the 3-digit system. It's one of the easiest systems to learn. And then when you go no huddle, you plug in codes. But like what we did in Carolina, we ran the same offense. When we went to the Super Bowl with Cam Newton, we ran the same offense we ran in St. Louis. It was the digit system, but we allowed him and the players to come up with the nicknames for these plays. So now they remember it right off the cuff. So, you could call 585 and you knew it was comebacks and a seam down the middle, but we're going to call it, highway, because it's Highway 85 in North Carolina. So they came up with the names, and this way they're going to remember it. So sometimes we had to learn
Give
it
them
as
ownership,
coaches.
right?
Yeah.
Give them a little bit of ownership. And they
100%. And those are the things that I want to do. And those are the things that I still think it's the best offense. I mean, teams are still running the same plays. They're just, the verbiage is different. The formations are called something different. But in my opinion, some of these guys make it so hard on these players to learn that it's difficult for these guys and their talents to showcase. Anytime you're a football player and a great athlete and you have to think, you take away half their athleticism because they're out there thinking instead of just reacting. So that's what, to me, I think sometimes I've learned as a coach, you don't need to put in 200, 300 plays in a week for a game that you're only going to run 50, 60 plays. Let's keep it simple so they can play it fast. We'll still run the stuff that everybody runs, but we can disguise with different looks and then just let these guys play fast and make plays.
If you're in Missouri, You talk about endless possibilities. You're going to have so much fun when you download the top-rated sportsbook app in America. That is the DraftKings Sportsbook app, and it's live in Missouri. And now you can make every game even more exciting with same-game parlays and money lines and props and more, all from your phone. All safe, secure, and easy to use. Missouri fans know game day, tailgates, noise, the passion, and now with DraftKings Sportsbook, you can bring that same energy to every snap and every touchdown and every win. And right now in Missouri, bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets instantly. No waiting, no nonsense, just pure action powered by America's top-rated sportsbook app. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the code STL Sports. New Missouri customers, bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets instantly. That's code STL Sports. The crown is yours in partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus, physically present in Missouri. Eligibility and restrictions apply. Terms at DraftKings.com/sportsbook. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos.
Okay. Ricky, I got a couple of non-coaching things. First, let's go back to the Rams. Super Bowl 36, there's a famous pregame. You're coming out before Super Bowl 36. You go, right? You know what I'm going to say. Start of the dynasty, baby, right?
Yep,
And
yep.
little did we know it was going to be the other team.
I was right. I was right. It's just the wrong team.
You were, but and I've asked I don't know if I've ever asked you about this. So because you scored the tying touchdown in that game, when you're watching football or when you're living football or living life, because you went on to win another one with Indy, do you ever think about Super Bowl 36? Does that ever haunt you?
Both those haunt. Well, think about it. I catch the game, tying touchdown. They have the ball at the 17-yard line, no timeouts. We feel good. Our defense is awesome. I mean, we had the 6th-ranked defense in the league that year. So we felt good about it. And boom, they hit a couple. They got out of bounds on every play and then watched the field goal. And then 2 years later, I go to Carolina, do the same thing. And they were going to take a knee, and our kicker kicks it out of bounds on the kickoff. So, yeah, I lived those 2 games because we were a better team, but we just didn't play our best that day.
It took Ricky, it took me a decade to watch Super Bowl 36 again.
Yeah.
And I never realized this. And I showed it to Matthew Rocchio, our producer. There is such a blatant, clear, intentional grounding by Brady. Clearly,
Thank
you know,
throws it out of bounds to the right side, and there's nobody there.
Yeah. Yeah. And how that didn't get called is beyond me.
100. I'm glad you said that because they never even brought it up, never even said anything. And I'm sitting on the sideline going, that's intentional grounding. I agree 100%.
Yeah. And 100%. Leonard had him, I think. I think Leonard Little had
he did.
Brady.
He did. And he threw it to the right sideline. There wasn't anybody out there.
Yeah, so that was terrible. But then the other thing is, and this is on a more positive note, because you were a huge, and you've always been a huge community guy, and you talk about your center and how you help out young people. But you and I did a show on off days on Charter when you were here in St. Louis, and you talked about what you did in the community a lot. We talk football, but we also did a lot in the community. How much will you take that to your group of players? I know that you don't get to be here all the time with them, but how important will it be for you to imbue them with what the community is about in St. Louis?
Well, I think we all have to remember as athletes and the opportunities that we have, we've got to give back. There's so many people out there in all communities that we play in that need our help, need our support, and we've got a platform to do that. And I think it's huge to understand. For these young kids, and enough isn't said. There's so many good, wonderful things that are happening in the communities in which the NFL plays in. Even the UFL has done a great job. When we went back to St. Louis on Media Day, and some of the things that we try to visit hospitals, but it's important. It's important for the next generation to pass that on, to just appreciate the platform we have and what people before us did for us and the opportunities that we have. And to me, there isn't a better feeling. I've been blessed. My foundation for 30 years in St. Louis, it was First Down for Kids. And I've been with foster kids and adopted kids, different programs. And we've given millions of dollars. And like now we call Santa's Helpers, 350 foster kids Christmas, and there's not a better feeling. And it's fun for me because it's taken a while here for the community. I'm not from here to embrace. I think when I first got here, they're like, professional athlete, you got tons of money. You think we're going to fill your pockets? It's taken 10, 15 years, Randy, to where now they're writing checks because I'm out in the front lines giving toys out, bicycles, and people have finally bought in that Ricky he's doing what he said he was going to do. And that makes me proud. It was a long, hard road of just being, just people just doubting, not believing that I was going to do what I said I was going to do. And for me, I'm a man of my word, and it's such a good thing to give back. There's not a better feeling to see families and realize Christmas we take for granted. And there's so many families out there that don't have the things that we have. And it's just educating the community. It's educating people of all the people that need our help, all the families, especially foster kids that just want a mom and dad to love them, say they love them. It's important.
Well, we're really proud to have you back in St. Louis as the head coach of the Battlehawks. I know that the Battlehawks Nation can't wait to see your team play, and we're thrilled to have you back. And I can't wait to see you in person, Ricky. Always good to talk to you.
You too, man. I appreciate you having me. And so many familiar faces. I love that everybody's still here, man. Everybody's still in St. Louis, and it's like I said, it's a dream come true, man. I can't wait to see everybody go back and eat on the hill at G and Tony's, my spot. I love it. I love it.
All right. Thanks, Ricky. Happy New Year. Take care.
Thank you, Randy. You too.
That's Ricky Proehl, the head coach of the St. Louis Battlehawks here on STL Sports Central. We're presented by DraftKings, where the crown is yours.